Hi friends, welcome back to the Joy Channel. I am your host and life coach, Heidi B. And today we're going to do a quick Joy Jam. The topic today is actually going to be 5 steps to creating a solid game plan. Now, for a lot of us, this means like I do this every single year, starting in the new year, but you can choose to do this anytime that you're feeling like you're not really clear on what direction or what path you're going in your life. You haven't sat down to think about your dreams and desires and the things that you want to create for yourself. Because remember, we are participating in the creation of everything that we see around us and in our own lives. So it's really important that we take a beat to regroup. Now, some of you have already dove into the Thrive 55 guide, and that's going to give you literally the step-by-step process on all the things that I'm talking about today. But I wanted to get things a little bit more personal and share with you my own 5-step game plan in real life. So I've got it set up behind me. I'm going to take you through everything and how I come about and why it's so important, and then how I use it throughout the year. So first things first, for the 2022 game plan, I don't start a year without this. I used to just kind of create one big goal for the year and then kind of freestyle it and cross my fingers and hope that it came true and never really check in with myself and just, again, just kind of, maybe this will be the year when this thing will happen. Once I started working on self-growth and personal development, I realized how important my intentions and daily actions were to getting the things that I desired and having the life that I was feeling obsessed with. Things drastically changed a couple of years ago when I adopted this exact process, and I haven't stopped doing it ever since. So walk with me as we move through the annual game plan, or again, if your game plan doesn't feel very good after a couple of months, you can come back to the beginning or wherever you're at and regroup. So the first thing that we want to do is create our themes or worth it words. The themes and worth it words are the things that actually you're feeling in your soul that you want to have this overarching presence and focus on for a good chunk of your focus year. So the themes, and I like to get a big piece of paper. You can do like a cardboard poster board, or I just get these really cool giant Post-it note boards. I love these things. You can use them for everything. Get these giant Post-it note boards, and then I print out in quadrants 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of paper horizontally, and everything sits really beautifully. I keep this up year round, and it is right here in my office. So every morning I'm looking at it, I'm visualizing it, I'm energizing myself with it. And we'll get to this part, but it's really important to create your daily intentions to match the things that you desire. So for the first quadrant, we're focusing on theme and worth it words. So you'll see in this quadrant, it's kind of far away, but I'll read to you. I like to pick about 3 words minimum, and you don't want to go too far off. I really got into it this year. There's about 6 words up there, but ideally you want to pick about 3 strong and solid words that are you're going to come back to these every single day. So I'll share kind of my top ones. My top ones for this year are simple. Keep it simple, Heidi. That's what I tell myself every day. Keep it simple, Heidi. So when I'm finding that life is feeling a little bit hard or tricky, what I've noticed is I've probably overcomplicated things. And so when I feel that in my body, I go, boom. Remember, your top word for this year is simple. Keep it simple. The next big one for this year is unfiltered, being completely unfiltered. You'll find so much, if not all of my content is fairly unedited. It's real, it's raw. The conversations that we have on my new channel, Unfiltered Joy, are all about telling the truth. And I think that maybe that sounds like a simple task, but as a recovering people pleaser, living a lot of my life just trying to fit in and make sure that I didn't rock the boat or, muddy things up, actually being unfiltered and being completely self-expressed without checking myself all the time is something that's really important that I want to really focus on for this year. So simple, unfiltered. And then the third one, they're all really good words, but the third one for me is curiosity. And I think a lot of times we are quick to rush to judgment or just make up stories. And so instead of doing that, I just want to spend this year being really curious about people, about my feelings, about how I'm showing up in the world, and asking a lot of questions to just learn more about myself and others. And I think curiosity is the key. So those are my 3 words, but additional words that I have on my board are courage. I'm really working, that goes in tandem with unfiltered. That takes a lot of courage to choose that truth. Surprise and delight is another word of mine, where I just want to allow life to surprise me and delight me. It's a really important piece for me. And then signs. I'm learning more about myself and this space called human design. And my design is really supposed to pause more often and look for signs for our next best step. And I've noticed that a big portion of my life is just like, what do I need to do next? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? And instead of just stopping and doing, or even just being quiet and still, and listening and noticing the signs, and then moving forward with what is next, what is meant for me. So I'm really trying to honor the signs in my life. And of course, joy is always going to be the hub of my values and my words. Joy this year for me stands for the journey of you. You guys know that acronym by now, that joy is really the journey of you. And so all these words really encompass my themes. And whys, like worth it words, are what's going to make it worth it for you to live this incredible year. And so if we can constantly go back to these words and go, am I allowing myself to keep things simple? Am I allowing myself to feel surprise and delight? Am I allowing myself to listen to the signs and be unfiltered? Am I allowing myself to lean into courage and stay curious around things? And so we get to ask ourselves those questions, and it becomes really, really easy when we bring everything back to our themes and our words. So I want to invite you to start here in this space right here. And I forgot to mention celebration is another word. I believe that every single day should be a celebration of something, even if it's simply, and not just this, but even if it is that you're celebrating another day here on this earth with breathing lungs and a heart that's supporting you. That is alone is something massive to celebrate every day. This human life is a huge, huge gift. So celebrate yourselves daily. And if you're doing Thrive 55, you know that at the end of your day, you do that in courage. That's the E in Thrive, is enjoy and encourage. You're going to encourage yourself, give yourself that pat on the back, give yourself that high five, and celebrate something each and every day. All right, so we've got number 1 is themes and worth it words. I also like to include in number 1 a theme song. I know this sounds super cheesy, but I want you to find a song that represents all of this for you, and listen to it every single day. Again, the T in Thrive is turn it up. You're going to turn up your theme song every single day, and you don't have to dance around like I do, but you do get to allow your body to feel the energy from that expression through music that represents what you desire your theme for this year to be. So don't skip this step. The theme song is really important, and listening to it every single day is actually a part of this process. All right, step number 2 is your top goals, for this year. So I have another quadrant over here, and you can see I've numbered it 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to encourage you to have 3 to 5, no more than 3 to 5, that are going to be, again, your big goals that are going to carry you through the entire year. All right. So One of mine is to launch my new brand, which I haven't told anyone about, so you're the first one to find out. It's called Joyfully Divorced, really, really supporting women who are moving through divorce in their lives. I'm a divorced woman now, and so that's really important to me, is to share all of the skills and all of the tools and all of the feels and all of the things that I used to move myself from feeling really lost and uncomfortable to this space of abundance and living a life that I really feel like I'm obsessed with. So Joyfully Divorced is number one goal for me. These are in no particular order, but a goal for me. The second one says fabulously 40. I'll be turning 40 this year. And so for me, fabulously 40 means feeling like my body feels so incredibly strong and energized and flexible and all the things to continue to move me through life in a way where I'm never held back from anything. Fabulously 40 means just really making sure that I feel good in the skin that I'm in, that my soul feels like it's really, really alive and so, so worthy and enough. So there's a lot of things that go under that. Again, these are bigger themes. The third one is memorable moments. And I just added the words, remember when. I was hanging out with somebody this weekend and a lot of things came up where we kept saying, remember when, remember when, remember when. Wow, we have so many incredible memories together. And so one of my goals is to be super intentional about intentional with the remember whens and memorable moments with people that I love. I think it's easy for us to get in this autopilot of, this is just my life and, things just happen. We'll see what happens, or we always do these celebrations or whatnot. But to create these memorable moments that stand out and last and allow people to tell stories and retell that story 100 times for the rest of your life and then beyond, and when you're gone, I think is really, really special. And so one of my focuses is that. And the last one says connection and collaboration. That means that I want to, for me, that means I want to create more friendships and connections locally, but then also on the business side of things, I really, really want to get connected to more people in this space of self-development and really partner up in lots of really creative ways. So those are my 4 goals. So we start with the themes. We move to 3 to 5 goals. Not pictured on here, you can also do what I call mega goals, my extremely giant ambitious goals. Those are those mega goals. And one of the mega goals for me is to have my lake house. That's one of them. There's several of them. And so what I should have done is actually put that mega goal on there as well. I forgot to do that, to be quite honest. So you set your top goals for this year, and then your mega goals also get to be a part of that so that you can start to chip away at that mega goal, even though it's going to might take a little bit longer to get to. The third thing that you want to do is get specific. Get specific. What does this even mean? What's it going to take to create a joyfully divorced experience, to feel fabulously 40, to make more memorable moments, remember whens, to create connection and collaboration? Because those things don't just pop up. We actually participate in making them show up in our lives. So what you want to do is get super specific. And you do that by creating a vision board. So my vision board is this whole thing, but specifically you want to have one quadrant, or maybe it's the whole thing. I did mine differently this year than I did last year. Over here, that's just dedicated to images. Just dedicated to images. Bring these specific things to life. So for Fabulously 40, I have things like rollerblading, reading more books, taking more bubble baths, a giant cake with 40 on it. For memorable moments, I have this "You're Invited" and balloons popping up, and a beach, a very tropical beach, because I want to go on a tropical vacation. I have things like bike riding and paddleboarding and dance classes. And for, a plate with a heart on it, just healthy foods, the surprise and delight. So like ways that I can be surprised and delight. What does that look like? Putting these things on there in real time. I have my YouTube channel on here, taking all of the words and all of the goals and putting them in picture form so that your brain has the ability to go, oh, I know what that looks like. And then your heart is able to go, oh, and that's what that feels like. When I look at those pictures, I know what that feels like in my body. That's important because the energy that we feel in our body actually creates the things that we see. All right. So I'm not going to take it any deeper than that, but one quadrant. If not, if you want to arrange your board totally different, knock yourself out. There's not a wrong way to do it. I just like to kind of group the elements. That's how I did it this year. The fourth part, we're almost done. The fourth part is that you want to create a monthly focus spot. You will be shocked at how quickly the month goes by and how quickly what you said you were going to do, like focus on one of these 4 things. If I don't break those goals into smaller chunks, a monthly focus, it becomes kind of a far reach and we don't actually take action every day. It just goes, oh yeah, I want to do that. So what I do is my 4th quadrant right here, I put a title, like this says, Joyfully Divorced, Fabulously 40, Memorable Moments, Connect and Collab. And then what I do is I get 4 sticky notes and I write 4 things from each category that I want to really hone in on each month. And then when the month is over, I'll take the 4 sticky notes off and I'll put the next 4 on. Now, you may not complete everything, and that's totally fine, but it really is a gauge where if I have a day going, what am I going to do? What are my priorities going to be? I can easily look at that board and go, oh, I can check that one off today, or I can get closer to that today by doing this. So these are on here, and they are things like, in January, we'll use memorable moments, the remember whens, as a section. Now, if I did not reach out and invite others to do things this January or say yes to some of the invitations that I received, I wouldn't be able to accomplish this goal of memorable moments. So what I did was I reached out to people and I thought of like things that I really wanted to do or people that I wanted to kick the year off with first. And then I put them on my sticky note. So one of them says Traverse City. Me and my best friend took a trip to Traverse City. One of them says Michigan friend dates. And when I was in Michigan, I was very intentional about reaching out to several friends that were in town, whether it was a coffee date or it was a Zoom date or it was a sushi date or it was a whatever date. Like, how can I see you? How can we create memorable moments together? And I did that. The other one says family time. Now I could have been even more specific on this one, but I knew that that one would get filled up really quickly, but it was important that I got intentional about it. So I created specific dates with my family members. I took my niece horseback riding to her horseback riding lesson. I took my mom and dad on a date night. We had dinner together. We had a family game night, family dinners, and I shared some of my wine from Traverse City because I know my sister and brother-in-law love wine. So I invited my sister to take her out to dinner for her birthday and made the reservation. So getting really intentional, I probably wouldn't have done all of those things. And the other one says, do something with your neighbors, because we're really close to our neighbors. But if I didn't put that on there, it could very easily just slip away and not have moved closer to my goal. So I did this in every single quadrant. 4 goals, 4 things under each goal, and then I just chip away at it all month long. I chip away at it, and it doesn't have to be really difficult things. It's just tiny little steps in the direction of. Right? So even starting this YouTube channel, that was part of my new rebrand, but it says right on here that I was going to work on researching how to start the YouTube channel. And here we are. So it's chipping away at it. So the monthly focus is really important. And then here's the fun part. And you don't have to take it this far, but I love to see what's possible for myself if I actually stay actively engaged with my desires. So the second part of this is number 5 is expand the years 4 focuses for each month. So what I did was I grabbed another huge sticky board And now I plot it out. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And just like we did right here, I came up with 4 things, and they're progressive too. The cool thing about expanding it out is it becomes very progressive. So let's say, for instance, one of your goals was to travel more. Maybe in January, you're going to put research options for travel. Narrow down which destinations I want to go to. And then in February, maybe you're going to put research specific for destinations and narrow it down to 2. And then in March, maybe you're going to narrow it down to 1, and then you're going to actually pick the destination. And then by June, you're booking the tickets for December, and you're calling the friends that are coming with you. You see how it doesn't have to be the one thing, and then it just has to hurry up and happen immediately. You could get to be progressive when you plot it out. And what's really cool is to see what your mind and heart do together, putting this vision together, putting the year together, and then getting to August and going, whoa, I already did that back in February or March. Now I can actually bump up my timeline. Or, you know what? I didn't quite get to the things in February or March, and here we are in August, and I have so much time left in the year to regroup, restructure, and still create that thing I desire. That's what I love most about this game plan process, right? So the thing I want you to remember is, I think a lot of people sometimes hesitate around this because it feels like, oh my gosh, now I have to stick with that all year round, especially when we do the 12-month planning. That can feel intimidating. Don't let it be intimidating. Let it be fun. Turn on your favorite music, just spend a couple hours really, really thinking about what you want your life to look like, what you want your life to feel like, and just let it be easy. All right. And the other thing is, give yourself permission to change your mind. If something on here is no longer serving you, or you look at it and it's not giving you the vibe that you desire, choose something else, or cover it up with a sticker, or cross it out, or draw a silly face over it, whatever it is. You have permission to change your mind. This is just your starting point, so you don't feel so lost and overwhelmed by life and then nothing happens. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing happens if nothing changes. So this is really an opportunity for you to go, oh, this is what I said I want for myself. I wake up each and every morning as part of my morning routine, and I come over and I look at this board. Sometimes it's when I start my office day, and don't be afraid to put your vision board in a place where other people can see it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. What if people ask you? That's amazing. The more we put it out into the world, the more we vocalize it, the more we share it, actually, the more opportunity we have to call that into ourselves. So don't be afraid to share it with your significant other, even if there's things on there that they may not understand, or they may go, you want that? Really? It's totally fine, right? Don't let anyone else's reactions dictate what your desires are. It's fine. And you can change it at any point in time, right? You can pull these sticky notes right off if you go with the way that I've been doing it, or you can just recreate that section altogether. No big deal. You can literally just rip off a piece of blank paper. It doesn't even have to be fancy, and glue it on over it if you don't like it anymore, right? So the final thing is, when I look at it every single day, and if you're doing Thrive 55, you know that the V is called V3. That is 3V, your vision, and 3 things that are going to support your vision every single day. That's your V3. They're priorities that you're going to complete each and every day. So I look at this daily, I look at my goals, I look at how I've narrowed it down and go, oh, what are 3 things? Don't have to do something from everything. What are 3 things that I'm going to do today to get me closer to that, or to check it off the list? It's as simple as that. So let's recap your 5 steps to a solid game plan. Step 1, get your theme and worth it words and your theme song. Step 2, your top 3 to 5 goals. And you can also do your mega goals, those big, big goals. Step 3, your vision board, really putting photos to your words and goals. Step 4, chunking it down to your monthly focus. And step 5, expanding the year into your 12-month scenarios, 12 months of options for priorities. And that's it. So I hope this has been helpful, you guys. If it's been helpful or you have questions, leave it in the comments below. Make sure you are subscribed to the Joy channel. We are dropping content every single day for the first 55 days of the year. And then there will be so many goodies above and beyond. If you like to share your game plan with me one-to-one, just send me a DM on Instagram at joyfullyb, or again in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to see what you put together. And at the end of the day, I want you to go out into the world, shine your light bright, and live a limitless life. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.